First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever podcast app you use, and of course,
twitch.tv/upnext podcast and youtube.com/upnext. Hello, Twitch and YouTube room.
Yeah, hey, we podcast, but if you ever want to hang out when we go live, well, join us, and the video replays are all up on the YouTube and the Twitch in case you like to, put it on while you do stuff. I don't know. People like to Chromecast it to their TVs.
They do, yeah.
We've seen.
We look so nice in 4K.
Yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. And speaking of replays, the replay is up on our YouTube and Twitch of upNXT Summer Mania.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Big event.
Fire
took place
Frank.
This Sunday.
I don't even... we can talk about spoilers, but, it's a tough situation.
I don't know. Give them a week, maybe.
Because, guys...
There's a lot happened on that show.
Yeah. Fire Frank and Cino put on a hell of a main event. Fire Frank is a trivia monster when it comes to pro wrestling trivia. And Cino, his best friend, going up against him. It was quite a battle. We had the battle of Was Next. The Was Nexperts are crowned. I can't tell you which one is which. You got to tune in. But also, there was a tag team.
There was a tag team match.
You know what? We're breaking this rule for the no spoilers thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck Eric Marcotte. Fuck Brandon from New Jersey. Nate Milton, he's all right.
And new.
And new.
Yeah.
We officially have gold.
Yeah.
Sorry to spoil that one, but we are...
Finally.
We decided right now, right here, we had to let you know that we are the BDE champions. The BDE.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Finally.
That's right. Don't ever forget it. But yeah, go check out that replay. The podcast audio version is up for patrons, but I mean, it's a lot more fun. Why listen in audio when you can visually watch Brandon from New Jersey almost choke and die live on a video stream?
Yeah, you definitely need to watch the musical Marshmallow Mayhem match.
The Chubby Bunny.
Yeah, I don't know how that translates on audio.
He was using industrial-sized marshmallows.
Too big.
I don't know where he
set
got
himself
them.
up for failure.
Yeah, if he were to have died during this live stream, would we be hit with manslaughter?
I've no idea. Maybe.
He's okay. He survived, thankfully. But yeah, what an event. Go check out that replay. We'll dive into some NXT. Thank you for listening. And anyone who shouted out us and checked out upNXT Summer Mania, we really appreciate it. We had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, we'll talk about some NXT, but there's a lot of other stuff that was happening.
There is, yeah. We talked about SummerSlam. We gave our thoughts at the beginning of upNXT Summer Mania, but there's a lot going on in WWE with the new changes. I did actually watch Raw this week, along with a lot of people. Huge rating. Did you get to catch any of it at all?
I mean, Io Sky gets me high.
Yeah,
there, I can say that now. It still works. Io Shirai now showing up at SummerSlam was just a huge reaction for me. And then I did not, I just, because of our schedules and stuff, I didn't check out Raw, but I definitely checked it out via Twitter and stuff, because I was interested. As soon as, people were buzzing me hey, Io's on Raw again, definitely checked out some of that stuff, and probably will pull up that match with Bianca, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw clips from it, so I was like, okay, maybe I do have to watch Raw now.
Match quality, Raw was pretty good, and huge focus on the women's division, them kind of kicking off the show. They do feel like the main event act at the moment, and now you've just got this injection with Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, where there's so many more options and so many exciting options in the women's division. And then I'd say Ciampa is the other one. I kind of mentioned that promo he did last week and
on .com,
and two big wins, the triple threat win and then the win over AJ Styles, facing Lashley next week. It definitely seems like they're putting something behind Ciampa. I could totally see Miz maybe costing him next week, and that's kind of his first big feud. But I think you give that guy a mic in the ring, he's a star. We've seen it for years and years in NXT, so it's nice to see the focus on him. And just some of the wrestling was really good. I'm sure you've seen the GIF of the
AJ
Styles clash, which
Holy.
I just keep on watching. So good. The 450 into the Styles clash on top of the Miz was great. So yeah, like it's still a 3-hour show, and it's still like a lot of commercials, a lot of going to replays and that kind of thing. And sometimes we criticize AEW for maybe not letting moments breathe enough, but at least that kind of relentless pace, it keeps you awake and keeps you on your toes.
Sure.
So even when it's like, I thought a good episode of Raw, it still feels a bit of a slog.
3 hours is tough. When you can watch it the next day and definitely cherry pick what you want. Like if they go, hey, we're putting on a lot more wrestling now and more time with in ring, then like definitely will be something I check out again for sure. I said on this show, the second Io Shirai gets called up, I'll watch, and it's for sure. There's a star right there. Cody Rhodes being on Raw, Io Shirai being on Raw. Do we have to get tickets for Raw in 2 weeks?
I know. We should.
Toronto.
I'm off that night, so
We might
might
have
as
to.
well.
Maybe
we
we'll talk
can see the venue right
from
now.
our window right now. Yeah, should we try to get post wrestling? John Pollock, help us get some tickets to Raw.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to see Io Shirai. Io Sky, sorry. Yeah, I think it's great that they're going with this whole Triple H takeover, if you will. I think it's best for business. He did the interview with Logan Paul, Impulsive, his podcast. I saw some clips of that as well, and basically it still sounds like he's got a mindset for this business and wants to take it to like the places we kind of thought he was going with it in NXT for the past, like, I'd say 5 years. But a clip from that probably got the most buzz though is him saying, before Vince McMahon, wrestling was just a thing that happened in little bars.
Yeah.
And a lot of people went, well, actually, and then
Yeah,
that's not the case.
Like,
but bless him.
obviously, there were like there's stuff in MSG, there's stuff in these domes and stuff, but I get it. Triple H, he's promoting.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't blame a promoter for
Yeah.
promoting, and that's kind of the. It's always been the case. Like, you know, you haven't made it until you make it in WWE, and it's still that attitude of we're the big fish here, and kind of. Although something I will say is, I noticed on Raw. Where they're kind of not forgetting about the past. They're talking about Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, and they're saying about, look, Io Shirai is a NXT Women's Champion, a NXT Women's Tag Champion. Dakota Kai's done loads all over the world. They ain't new to this.
Right.
Whereas Jimmy Smith kind of on commentary acting like these rookies who have just stepped in, and Corey's like, no, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah. I like how on SummerSlam, Michael Cole had little comments like about Vince McMahon not being in his ear and stuff like that. But yeah, hey, Vince McMahon's out and pro wrestling is thriving. Who would have thought it? Wow, you love to see it. No, I'm excited to see where things can go. Are we going to get competitive different products now from different things? And it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. So I feel like next year in the world of wrestling, who knows what things happening and all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I still feel because things were kind of set up in the old regime for Clash at the Castle as well with Drew.
So you got to get
and
past
you've got
that.
the Riddle and Seth, and it's going to be slow. But I mean, right away, Ciampa. Well, I remember us watching him where he wins a match by DQ or whatever, and the camera's just not even looking at him at all. It's like a directive where, okay, we're going to give you a match, but no one's going to know who you are. And that's changed overnight.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic.
Oh, we're going to get Johnny Gargano, Ciampa, main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
Raw's in Cleveland next week.
Let's go. Oh, and that's when Ciampa has his match.
Exactly, yeah.
Who's going to save him from the Miz beatdown?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This Rebel Heart.
There is a reason they bought it. Not just for one time.
Yeah.
Come on. He's coming back. After that panel show at StarCast, what's next?
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that.
What's next for Johnny Gargano? He's been a fan for a long time. Shout out Johnny. I think WWE is what's next.
I think it makes the most sense.
Played it pretty smart. We knew. We dissected it. Him leaving NXT, there wasn't anywhere for him at the time in AEW. There's all these big pieces already in motion. He'd be kind of just floating around, wrestling Tony Nese or something.
I'd say Adam Cole is one if he were to wait. I don't think he's in a bad position in AEW, but I think he could be. I feel he's in like a pond with a lot of big fish in AEW. Whereas I think under Triple H, again, you give the guy a mic and put him in the ring, you'll sell a crowd, and I think he's someone who, if he'd have waited, could be in a pretty sweet position.
Well, he can go back to WWE in 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, he's still so young as well.
He can show up on Raw in 5 years. Logan Paul will be on his 3rd WWE Championship reign. Adam Cole will interrupt. Pat McAfee will lose his mind. It'll be great. Yeah, that's right. Wrestling will be nuts in a few years.
We also, during the tailgate that we had, our annual summer tailgate, we watched Ric Flair's last match.
Woo! Yeah, I feel different ways watching this. We were like, do we watch this? Like, it's still wrestling, and there's still all these other wrestlers on the card. Obviously, I think the last year of Ric Flair in the news on the dark side of the ring, it definitely put people off. But as a wrestling fan, I will admit, I was like curious to see what was gonna happen on this show. So we watched it, and it was entertaining. I'll give it that. Highlights: that four-way lucha match
was insane.
Holy
and
crikey!
Taurus,
man, just sign him. They took a picture with Undertaker after the 4 lucha guys.
Yes, I saw it.
Undertaker's like, dude, I'm going to put in a word in for you.
That, catching, what was it? Was it Bandito?
Saving Bandito's life. From upside down.
Upside down from that dive, turning it into, looked like he was going for what? Like a Styles Clash, then reversed into a Code Red. It was nuts. And the thing in the ring where Bandito was just spinning round and round him.
Crazy.
That match, I definitely highly recommend checking out. Ric Flair's last match, I mean, we were watching Dynamite last week where Bryan Danielson decided to sell the concussion in the match. And we're going, oh boy, Bryan Danielson's one of the best in the world. Is he
selling?
Is he just selling right now? Because I feel like a little
sick
sick because I'm like a bit nervous right now.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, I don't know if it was, hey, I'm an old man with a pacemaker. If I sell by like playing dead, I'm going to get this crowd real worried.
I guess.
Or was he just kind of a little dead in this match? Because, look, I wasn't expecting anything wrestling-wise. I don't think anyone really was. So kind of got what we got. But it was that uncomfortable feeling that you might watch a man die.
I feel like he's upset he didn't die in the,
I don't know.
In the match.
Yeah.
I feel like that was his goal. It looked like that suplex spot that they hyped up to be the biggest thing. It's just him taking a suplex. It was if he came out of like, he blanked for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he comes to, and he just could not wait to celebrate and fist bump Trey Baxter.
Yeah. He was leaving and then was like, I got to turn around and say goodbye to Trey.
Is that Blake Christian? I got to fist bump him. He just looked so loopy, and then he grabs a mic and says, all the things you heard about me are true, which then I go, what the fuck are you doing? And then says, I wasn't feeling nervous, but then Kid Rock was here on his night off, so now I know I got to do it good for Kid Rock, and now we're going to go party. I'm like, what is going on? What are you? Yeah. Are you knocked senseless right now? I guess so. It seems like, there was that watching that, like, this guy could be hurt in this match.
I mean, I hear a lot of people going like, why it was such a perfect ending, and I think as wrestling fans we like that. Shawn, Rick, obviously he did the TNA stuff after, and we've had that with Shawn, like Shawn Taker, such a perfect ending, and then he does that tag match. But as for like Ric Flair, like lives and breathes this business, loves this business, and I can imagine someone he's flirted with death a few times at this point. At 73, he wants one more fix before he like leaves us, and that's exactly what this was. This wasn't to have like a fairy tale ending of like a great wrestling career. It was, I want to feel this one more time. I want to walk out to my music. I want to be in my robe. I want to
big gold belt,
wear the big gold belt, hear that crowd, all of that. But yeah, it was very uncomfortable watching.
Yeah, as he fakes a heart attack right in front of Mick Foley, Bret Hart, and Undertaker in the crowd. Right in front of them, he does it. It's like, oh my God. That was, again, I don't know how I felt watching it, but hey, we watched it. And it was a car wreck, but at the same time, like, he got out of it okay, and it's over with. So, like, it's like, okay, we can we can move on
Yeah.
from that. But still had some other great wrestling on the show as well. And I mean, Andrade, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett. You know what? I'll praise the heel work of Jeff Jarrett. Watch his entrance. Wrestlers need to study that shit, man. No one knows how to just be an actual bad guy. Everyone knows how to be the cool bad guy. Jeff Jarrett doesn't give a fuck. He came out there. Some guy's yelling at him. He gets right in his face, yelling all sorts of obscenery. Karen Jarrett's losing losing her mind. Jeff Jarrett grabs this guy's beer and throws it right in his fucking face. Could you imagine?
He looked great as well.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he was in incredible shape. Like, I didn't think he looked... Like, remember when they brought him back for the Rumble, and then he had, I think, a match against Elias on TV, and they put him in his, like, old, like, like, early 90s gear, and looked like old, washed-up tribute of... Like, Jarrett looked fine here. Like, I'd buy him on a roster.
This is his TNA gear and everything. So yeah, he looked good. I thought they did the best they could for that match, and it was still entertaining as much as a car wreck as it was. But of course, Ric Flair blading as well. Hugo didn't blade though.
No,
sadly,
unfortunately,
he was waiting.
Yeah.
He was standing by. You need me? I'm in. The Battle of the Blades. Rick has definitely beat him in that, I think. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. But two big nights of wrestling from past weekend. I'd say for SummerSlam, Logan Paul really showed up as well. He's someone I could not really care about until kind of that match. I went, okay, maybe you can pick this up really quickly. Actually, I would give him praise for sure. And again, I could see him being down the line kind of a big deal that they use. He has quite a online presence, and like just from him sharing videos of him wrestling alone, that could also attribute to why Raw ratings are pretty good as well. It's just a good combination of, we want to see good wrestling, but this guy actually can wrestle, even though he's not really one of those indie darling kind of wrestling guys.
I thought he looked good.
Yeah.
He looked very good.
And then my match of the night was probably Bianca and Becky, and then now 100%. I've seen Becky's shoulder was like popped up. Oh, man.
I had no idea during the match.
Oh.
Kind of like what happened with Finn Balor, right? In that the Universal title match. Yeah, popped right out, and the photo looks nasty. And obviously on Raw, she's kind of said she's going to be out for a little bit. I had no idea watching the match.
Yeah,
and apparently it happened quite early on as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I thought that match was fantastic.
Yeah, I loved it. It's definitely towards the end of the year. I'm going to want to rewatch the Mania and the SummerSlam one to see which one I prefer. But those two have great chemistry, and Bianca Belair on like a great run on these big stages. Finally, not
ducking her the way they did like last year. I think they finally have realized that. And I mean, and just kind of circling back to Triple H and the women's division with WWE bringing in Dakota Kai, Io Sky with Bayley. I mean, she's got to be coming home. The boss,
Sasha. Yeah,
the boss is coming back to work. I think
it sounds like it. There have been reports that they've been in talks.
They could work this into like that whole CM Punk leaving WWE storyline, MJF stuff that's going on. Just have her all of a sudden show up, beat the shit out of a heel or whoever. Like, she would just get the craziest reaction if they showed up. Same with Naomi. Joining the Bloodline, I think, is still in the cards with Solo. But yeah, that was a fun wrestling weekend. Before we jump into NXT, we should say that tonight we won't be going live for BD Elite, but instead you can find us on Post Wrestling's Rewind a Dynamite, as Braden and Davie are going to be joining John Pollock to review Dynamite tonight.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so if you're looking for BD Elite this week, it won't be on this feed. Go check out Post Wrestling Rewind a Dynamite. Way has taken some time off. All the blessings to Way, but we'll be hanging out with Pollock tonight, and we're going to chat about Dynamite, and I'm pretty excited about that. We haven't really had a BD Elite with
No,
Pollock.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think if we've done anything. Kind of not since what? I mean, All In, I guess, isn't really AEW. Have we done an AEW show?
We did a Best Match Ever Stan Hansen with John Pollock.
And obviously we've done Best and Worst of, but no, I don't think we've done a Dynamite with John. So looking forward to
getting the main roster. We're
means
jumping ship.
You don't have to note.
I can just chill?
We can just chill.
Wow. John's going to take all the notes.
Yeah.
We'll just give our
going to be in with our
color comment. Yeah, our hot takes, my random predictions. Yeah. It'll be great. Everything will work out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Post Wrestling YouTube chat won't hate us at all.
Oh, no.
They'll love us.
They love everyone.
Yeah, they love us.
Yeah.
Hey, if you love us even just a little bit, maybe you can love yourself and get yourself a gift that keeps on giving, because it's the beginning of the month, which means it's a great time to check us out on our patreon.com/upnext, because we have a crazy hot summer month ahead of us. We should have done wet, hot American summer, but doing comedies are a bit not as fun, even though I might have to throw that on. It just
ends up us saying the jokes.
Yeah,
isn't it?
We like to be the jokes, damn it. But if that's okay, we have a bunch of other shows this month, including retro NXT reviews in What's Next. We're chatting all about the whole storyline, actually, with Sasha Banks and the BFFs. We got RVD was showing up at one point in NXT. Cesaro's dabbling. Sammy's the guy. There's all sorts of different stuff going back. We're in 2013 currently on What's Next, so those are some shows. This week, we have a World Champ pick. World Champ patrons get to select stuff, and then we have them on the show, and they chat all about it. Now, we used to do these Batman reviews, if you're familiar with. We've done a lot of them. Yes, we know we still have the Batman to do. We will get to it one day. But Rob McDonald has selected Man of Steel.
Yeah, Rob kind of started off this whole Batman thing by picking the 1966 Adam West Batman movie back in the day. And he kind of said, look, you've pretty much done it all now, but you skipped right to Batman v Superman and then did Justice League without doing kind of part one of that story, which is Man of Steel. So, this one I saw back in 2013 when it was out in the theaters. I've not seen it since until doing this review. So, back in the world of DC.
Soups. Yeah, so that'll be coming out this weekend. Man of Steel, chatting all about that. But if you want a little sneak peek of all the other shows coming out this month, we have another Up Yours, which just sounds wild because someone has picked one of my favorite movies. Who picked this movie? Rumble in the Bronx.
That was Justin.
Justin. Shout out Justin, World Champ patron, picked Rumble in the Bronx. Jackie Chan kicking some ass. I cannot wait to talk all about this movie. Bodegas, New York City, that's actually filmed in Vancouver, and Jackie Chan filming like the final stunts with a broken foot. Can't wait to talk all about that. We know NXT Heatwave is coming up in a few weeks, so we're looking back at ECW Heatwave from 1998, which is just a crazy stacked card. That'll be something that comes out. And I mean, we just did a Goodfellas review. I highly recommend checking that out. But another World Champ pick. This one's a little off the beaten path. Our man Neil has selected A Few Good Men.
Oh, yeah.
You want the truth? We'll give you the fucking truth when we chat all about this movie. Hey, it's a really good movie.
It's one of Neil's favorite films
It's
ever.
a great movie. It's just a little, like, a few people have messaged like, whoa, okay, I'm not against this. It's just a little, like, it's no crazy fighting.
Hey, we're all over the place up next. And, to balance it out, we needed to switch it up a little bit. And, well, we've just had Shark Week.
We celebrated Shark Week. Look, we love animals here at the BDE, and we love Shark Week. It was a good time, but it's August now, and we need to look forward to celebrate other animals in the animal kingdom. And I think we found a way to somehow weasel in a movie that we've been teasing
forever.
And officially, you have found World Orangutan Day.
Oh yeah.
Is it the 21st?
The 19th,
The 19th?
I think, isn't it?
Okay. World Orangutan Day is happening later this month. And I mean, we couldn't do an orangutan movie without first looking at quite possibly the greatest
orangutan movie of all time.
Dunstan checks in.
Finally. I think we're going to review this and realize it's a very problematic film.
Yep.
I can't wait. This is one for some reason we've been talking about for years and never got round to. Fun fact. Do you want an orangutan fact right now?
Do they have bones?
They've got long arms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. About 2.2 meters or over 7 feet.
Wow.
From fingertip to fingertip. That's
nice.
Yeah. Shout out orangutan.
Well, we're excited. We're
going to massaging with those arms, right?
You might be wondering what the hell's wrong with you guys, but from 1996, this movie is about an orangutan in a hotel.
Yes.
we're going to be chatting about that later this month, and we're super excited. So we would appreciate your feedback on that one, especially if anyone grew up watching that ridiculous movie. But hey, maybe you want more wrestling this month. Well, we're going to give you that as well, because they were celebrating 20 years of Rey Mysterio in the WWE. We're going to celebrate Rey Mysterio. We're going to do a best match ever. Rey Mysterio chatting all about the best.
Boyaka, boyaka.
Yeah, 619. We're going to chat all about the best of Rey Mysterio, and we would love some feedback on what matches we should take a look at, because can't wait to dive into the world of Ray and everything. So that'll be coming later in the month as well. But go check all these shows out. Patreon.com/upNXT. It's only $5 a month to access all these shows on the North American tier. And you get everything in the back catalog. I mentioned that Goodfellas review that just came out. That was a ton of fun. We've done all the retro NXT reviews, all the best matches ever, all the retro pay-per-view reviews. And it's only $5. Go check us out.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, we are content creators, and we would like you to check out the content that we create.
All right, well, shall we get into some NXT?
Hell yeah.
Okay, NXT from August the 2nd, 2022. And we're kicking things right off with the the vacant NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. It's a fatal 4-way elimination. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance taking on Valentina Feroz and Yulissa Leon versus Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley taking on Toxic Attraction. So this starts off with Dolan, grabs Tatum by the foot, and we've seen Tatum do this kind of backflip out of it, goes for a drop kick to Gigi, misses her by about a mile here. Valentina comes in with a head scissors that she transitions into a submission, like a kind of, almost like an octopus stretch, and then transitions that back to complete the head scissors, which I thought looked really nice. There's then an assisted somersault senton to Kaden from Feroz, and then Leon military presses Valentina over her head, throwing her to the outside on top of everyone.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah.
She lifts her own partner to then throw her on top of everyone. And then if that wasn't enough.
Yeah, she follows up with a toe pake on Hilo, taking everyone out again.
Yeah, very impressive. I think the whole first chunk of this match with these two kind of getting all their stuff in was...
They're great. These two are really fun
They
to
have
watch.
really impressed. Their chemistry is hitting. All their moves are hitting. They're coming together really well. I was rooting for them in this match.
Feroz then tags in and hits crossbody, and there's a suplex by Leon and for a near fall. Ivy then tags in and just punches Feroz right in the head to pin her. Was
this in the gut, or was it in the gut? It's kind of a weird finish. I thought. It was a kind of abrupt. It's not a finish. It's an elimination.
It's an elimination. Yeah. I think just putting up Ivy, like Diamond Mines, kind of got this MMA vibe to it. So it's this strike, but it's one of the things we've brought up before. Whenever it's an elimination match or a 2 out 3 falls or an Iron Man or whatever, there's always a pinfall where you're like, I feel if it was 1-on-1, you'd have kicked out on that.
Yeah, why are people not kicking out of DDTs?
And now it's just like, you got punched and you're out. But a shame to see them eliminated, because I thought these were fun.
Yeah, look, I like where Diamond Mine is going, and Ivy Nile is impressing too, but I thought it was a little abrupt for them to go out that way, especially because they were so impressive in their short stint in this match. But I think the highlight of this match was from this team, and I could see them being champs down the line.
Paxley then lifts Katana off from the mat into a vertical suplex, which looked pretty impressive. Nile then leaps off Paxley's back with another punch to the face. There's a big kick to the throat from Nile for a 2 count, and this is where I noticed that Ivy's actually bleeding from the mouth here. Katana springboards, I call it the fame jump. It's like the big split leg. She does this like springboard fame jump over Tatum's head.
Even I can understand what you're saying. Yeah,
which I thought looked pretty good. And then Carter tags in, and there's the code breaker from Chance, but Jane JC Jane capitalizes and pins Paxley here to eliminate Ivy and Paxley.
So she stole the pin essentially.
So now we've got Toxic Attraction taking on Kaden and Katana, probably the 2 most established teams in this division at this point. Toxic go for the high-low to Katana, but Kaden runs in and kicks JC in the side of the head to break up the pin. There's then a soul food from Jane to Jane from Katana, and then Caden and Katana set up for their 450 splash neckbreaker combo, but Gigi grabs at the ankle. Gacy then rolls up Caden for the pin, but Caden pushes her off towards the ropes, allowing Katana to kick her in the head, and then this sets up for their 450 neckbreaker, and Caden and Katana win.
Yeah, shout out Caden and Casey. See that? We're calling the old name. It sounds so much better than Katana Chance. But hey, they took a chance. Hey, I'm happy that they actually won here. They made it. They treated it like a big deal. We've been doing this show for a long time. We've followed these two as a team for quite a long time. And if these titles were literally thrown in the trash in a gimmick, like, we need to revitalize the division. And Toxic just wasn't doing it. So it was the right thing to do. And these two can probably put on week to week good tag matches. There's all these other teams. You could rematch any of the other teams within this match for starters. But I'm happy that they finally got somewhere. They're impressive. They've gotten so much better.
I quite enjoyed this match. I think all four teams have like good stuff to show. It was interesting that Caden and Katana were complete baby faces tonight. That was definitely a let's not push the whining and
good.
Being tough. I think we could have got to Cora and Roxy without having this tag title thing. I always think back to like the teams that won after like the title being vacated. Ember Moon is one where I always thought you don't feel like the champ because Asuka just vacated it and now you won it. And I kind of got that with Caden and Katana. I think it would have been nicer to maybe keep the titles on Toxic and have them beat them like legitimately. I think it would have solidified them a bit more. But I think it's a good direction. These are like they're the best team in the division in my opinion, and they've been a team for a while. So I think it makes sense to put it on these two.
I agree completely, and I think the things that we've been hating about them is this like weird pushing this ravey fun thing where they've been going. Like, I see what they're trying to do, but I don't think they're going about it the right way, where you just come across really unlikable. And then they started going into that unlikable thing, which was, I guess, working. But then they totally scrapped that and made them babyface.
And the crowd were treating them as such tonight. They were getting in. I mean, I hate the whoop whoop thing. Like, it's just so when I'm out and I hear that, it's like chalk on a chalkboard to me, like nails on a chalkboard. But the crowd were like chanting along for them, and definitely were into Caden and Katana.
But I will say, Yulissa and Faraz?
Yeah, Faraz, yeah.
But they're amazing,
they're
too.
Great.
I could see some big things for them as well.
So we then go and backstage where we see the NXT UK Tag Team Champions of Briggs and Jensen with Fallon Henley. And they're asked, what's next? And
upNXT.
Jensen goes, next? Well, I'm still waiting for my first. As Fallon kind of like, stop it.
Wait,
Stop.
I thought he was that's breaking the whole storyline arc here.
No, he's still a...
But he said
he's still a virgin, but he's like...
He's done like second base? He's done like hand stuff?
I think he's done some stuff, and I think he's more... he's beginning to love himself. You know, you can't love anyone else.
I think he was doing a lot of that before.
Yeah, no. But
I thought they said that when he became NXT UK Tag Champ, like all of a sudden, like, oh, the world's open.
You got attention, but maybe he's still like a little shy when it comes to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe he's just lying. He was lying about that. Like, oh, I got the gold now, and they all love me, and he really doesn't.
They say that we've been knocked down on our ass, but we always get back on the horse no matter what, and then turn their attention to Joe Gacy with the Dyad, who are there. And Gacy says, you are a second-generation superstar, and unfortunately that's something Cameron Grimes cannot say. Grimes was a journeyman who just couldn't have the same success that Grimes' father was a journeyman who just couldn't have the same success that your dad did. Referring to Bull Buchanan. Sorry,
Joe Gacy's like, oh, Cameron Grimes' dad, who was obviously in a lot of wrestling, he's mentioned, but never was like in WWE, I'm assuming, and stuff like that. But he's like, Grimes' dad wasn't as successful as Bull Buchanan. But like,
I mean, it's how you measure success.
Yeah.
Like, Bull Buchanan was getting those WWF checks during the hottest period of the company.
I'll just say this sucks because Gacy's like, hey, what's going on? I want to talk about Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
To you guys for no absolute fucking reason. While these two dorks look cross-eyed at each other.
Yeah. James Drake, sorry, is he Rip Jagger? What?
Rip Fowley,
Right.
Rip Foley,
Rip Fowler.
Rip Taylor.
Says, your eyes are looking into my soul. Gibson says, I can give you a roadmap to success. And Jensen says, well, I know the directions to a fist in your face.
Hey.
And Joe Gacy lays out a match against Jensen. Says, let's have a match, and it will be a message for Grimes.
Nice. Yeah, this Gacy stuff is...
Hate it.
Yeah, so done with it. And these two guys just standing next to him with their Mr. Burns hand gestures. Yeah. So funny. Come on.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Gibson as well, having to shave that beard off.
Yeah.
He looks awful.
Beards off for Gibson.
Yeah. We see Trick and Mello, and they say that life has been great since the Great American Bash. They've been stacking dollars and starting drama with the likes of Wes Lee and taking all your baby mamas.
And then Mello's like, whoa, not all of them. We got to give them back sometimes. So you hear that? What? Your baby mamas are not safe.
Yeah. It is what it is, as they say. And we're here to celebrate as it's the A-Champ's birthday. Mello is money player, and Mello makes the money move. And the next person to step in this ring can step up or get stepped on. And that's when Giovanni Vinci's music hits, and he's doing his poses when out runs Nathan Fraser, because they said the first person in the ring can get a title shot. So Fraser's like, all right, this guy's taking his time. I'm going to run down.
He photobombs the second photo, like waving, and then slides into the ring, therefore takes the
I think
spot.
This is great. Like, how many times have we seen the open challenge? And it's like, sorry, it's an open challenge for a title and one person has come out? Like, I want to see them in guerrilla, like, fighting each other to get to the ring. I thought this was quite funny. And, like, the shot of, like, the frozen one with him behind was pretty funny.
And Wade Barrett actually was really good, too, because he's like, whoa, okay, Vinny versus Mello? Like, strap in. This could be, like, one of the best TV matches. Like, he's selling it, and then he's like, oh, and we're not getting that.
So, Vinci joins commentary here, and is trying to, like, he's playing it cool. He's like, all right, okay, Fraser took it, but he didn't seem, like, overly mad about it. He was still, like, playing cool, calm, collected. Fraser is, like, incredibly quick. Obviously, both these guys are, but there's a great bit right at the beginning where they're just running the ropes forever, like, leapfrogging, dropping down, and then eventually Fraser hits with a big drop kick. Mello comes in with the fadeaway, which is his springboard, like, backwards guillotine leg drop against the draped opponent. Fraser goes for a springboard moonsault, but Mello moves, so Fraser lands on his feet, and just lands on his feet right into the springboard clothesline from Hayes for a 2, which the timing I thought was great here. Fraser then sends Mello headfirst into the turnbuckle. There are 2 super kicks from Fraser for a 2 count, and then Fraser hits a tope suicida to Mello, knocking him into the announce table, and thus knocking Vinci's drink all over him.
His water.
I don't know where he got this from, because he didn't bring it to the ring, because...
I noticed it was when it cut to him like sitting down. It was like this cup, a coffee cup, but full of ice water.
Yeah.
So when it spilt on him, you couldn't even see it because it's just water, and he's already like sweaty, anyways.
So now Vinci's pissed. Fraser goes up to the top rope, but Fraser knocks him off as the referee isn't looking.
Sorry, Fraser's up top, and Vinny shoves him off. Yeah.
And allowing Mello to hit the nothing but net, his top rope guillotine leg drop for the win.
Yeah, pretty good setting up the different matches within a match. And I thought it was a pretty good way to help. Mello does a good thing. I talk about heels being like the cool heels, obviously, but he comes across, like, ever since the beginning when he slapped Adam Cole, like this ruthless aggression thing he said, the whole thing. Here he is saying, it's my birthday and I'm celebrating by having a match.
Yeah.
That like does a lot more for a character than, like, comparing it to... We just saw Swerve and Keith Lee win the tag titles in AEW, and their celebration was like a shitty little cake and them in the ring, like, and we're celebrating. It's like, no, this guy's like, I'm not doing that. I'm having a match. And I was like, okay, you established yourself as a bigger star that way.
I see him being more of a tweener now as well, and
exactly.
I definitely see them maybe moving him more into a babyface role, because I think the crowd really like him and Trick.
I do want to see that match now, Vinny versus Mello. I mean, you could stretch that.
Him Vinny.
Vinny, what's his name? Vinci. Fuck, whatever. Because they go at the
Giovanni,
end.
so it's like you're mixing the two.
Yeah, because at the end, what did they go like? Vincenzo,
yeah.
something. Yeah, that match would be good. But now it sets up
We'll just call him Vinny.
Johnny Sins. It's
Yeah.
fun.
I think Fraser's probably still in this picture, and I think from stuff later, maybe Solo Sikoa as well. So I wonder if I don't want to see another ladder match, but I wonder if there's some kind of multi-man match we could do.
Elimination Chamber.
Which would be which would be good for these guys. I thought the match was pretty entertaining. I think Fraser isn't quite hitting for me yet. I know the talent's there, but I haven't really seen much from him that I don't get from other people on this roster yet. And I thought Mello was someone to really step up with. That wasn't to say it was a bad match, but I'm looking for a bit more from Fraser.
I'm getting Spanky vibes from Nathan Fraser.
I can see that.
Like, really fast, really good talent, but you running by, you're waving, you're always like, hi, can I be your flag bearer, and all that stuff.
And it's not like he's doing like one thing which is just like you'd see a Dante Martin do something just completely spectacular where you go, how do you do that? And sure, like he's can
good.
Do flips
he's
and
really
he's fast, but I'm waiting for that kind of one thing.
He's got to find a groove,
blow me away. Like back in the day, we're talking about Was Next, and you see the first time Neville hits that red arrow, and people are like, okay, who is this guy?
Exactly.
And I don't think we've had quite that yet. Whereas you go back to that match he had on Dark, where he did turn heads.
Exactly.
And kind of that's what I kind of keep referring to.
Well, he's Seth's boy, so eventually he'll be Paul's boy too.
Right.
So maybe I do think he's got to find more of a, not so much a character, but he's young, right? So
yeah.
So he's got to find that groove, and I think he will. But you're right.
They're really promoting quite heavily the main event tonight, and that was something I noticed on Raw and maybe on SummerSlam. They were pushing this big count anywhere.
SummerSlam was Von Wagner's world, and we're just living in it.
So here we've got a Solo Sikoa video package, just kind of showing him on the streets and all that, and all highlights from this feud.
Streets.
I thought they did quite a good job of building up this main event tonight. We go to the Championship Summit, aka the contract signing between Bron Breakker and JD McDonough. Wade Barrett, who's kind of leading this, brings up about last week being quite uncomfortable with JD McDonough when he was going through the crowd and stuff. JD says he felt very comfortable, but he wants to talk about NXT Heatwave. He doesn't want to talk about the past. He's thinking about the future here. And he says, I've never been in the ring with someone like Bron. I see the passion and fire in your eyes, and to some it will be intimidating, but to me it's a stimulant because everything inside me tells me to stomp it out. And everyone looks at you with respect, but I look at you and just see a roadmap of everything I will destroy. And I'll hear screams of agony while Alicia Taylor announces me. Is it Alicia Taylor?
Yeah, I think so.
As the new champ.
He's going to rip those muscles off your bones.
Yeah.
What a weirdo.
Bron then says, look, JD, you are special. I've got Peacock. I've been watching the NXT UK shows, and damn, you were champion there for over a year. And
he was?
Cruiserweight, I think. It took me a while to think. But I was like, oh yeah, he was.
Right. Maybe he was watching OTT.
Yeah.
Maybe saw that.
Maybe. I doubt he'd have brought that up, though. He said, and look, I've been up against great wrestlers like Ciampa and Ziggler, but of all of them, you might be the smartest. And they get to the contract signing. JD says that this summit isn't going to end in violence, but it will end in blood. And he cuts his finger open and signs the contract in blood, offers his hand to Bron to kind of shake like the kind of like blood pact here.
Blood brothers.
But Bron just holds up the title in his face.
So JD then licks his own finger
with
blood. Ugh, what a little weirdo.
Yeah.
This guy. So he cut his own finger. And I don't think he actually cut his own finger unless he did, because he did a little good thing. When he reached out, he was shaking. So I was like, did this dude actually
I think he cut his finger.
I was like, yo, you didn't need to do that. Like,
yeah.
He's blading.
It was the shaking, though. It was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, that could hurt. But yeah, interesting approach. They've been doing this like methodical precision thing where this guy's like, I don't know, kind of again very American Psycho, very creepy, very like out of the box of the normal thing.
I think he's doing it well.
Yeah.
I want to see it like translate when he's wrestling now. But
Fair.
I thought this was good, and I quite liked that this was not your typical contract signing that ended with Bron Breakker putting JD McDonough through the table,
right.
Which is, what you get. I like that he brought that up. This isn't going to end in violence. It's going to end in blood.
Signed in blood.
So this is in Heatwave in 2 weeks.
Heatwave.
Right.
Braun versus JD. Yeah, you know what? I think this character works. He keeps trying to get over the necessary evil. And I don't know if all this stuff is necessary, but it is kind of working because it makes him stand out from a lot of things. And I think that's something you have to give to NXT when it doesn't work. Maybe they've cut, like, think of Duke as the, like, gambler poker player. They eventually cut it because they're like, okay, this is really bad. Other things they, like, eventually cut. Whereas this is something like, hey, try this. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe there's, like, legs. If you take this and talk with, different producers maybe on a Raw or SmackDown, they could bring something to this. Or, like, create the next, like, where it goes. Because right now he's creepy and he's like precise and stuff. I'm like, there's something there, but
I'd almost like to see him win a match with something really unusual in seconds. Like, like last week he was going on about, you've got a weak collarbone.
Yeah.
And just do something like, because he knows that targets the exact point on a body and
just squash
just
someone,
squeezing, and they're like, and tap immediately. And you
Fair
go,
enough.
that's different, but shows that he can really dissect every part of the body.
Even like have a match against someone and like murder them in 2 seconds, like headbutt them, make them tap, and then just go with the whole evil thing, the fiery little angry Irishman kind of thing, but mixing in with this thing because his gimmick before was always he's Irish.
Yeah.
So like they don't even really mention that, which I think is a good thing because you can always bring that back around. But so far I think this match could be pretty good as well.
Apollo Crews goes to the Diamond Mine Dojo to wish them luck for their tag team championship match tonight. And Brutus and Julius are like, thanks, man. That means a lot. And anytime you want to get a roll on, the gym is open. And Crews gives them some advice. Watch your back. Not everything is as it seems. And Brutus is like, hey, what do you mean? Julius is like, yeah, don't worry. We got it. We got this. And Apollo reminds them that keep those eyes open and kick some ass. And that's when Damon Kemp comes in and says that just heard from Roddy, who's kind of stuck in traffic. He's running late, but he's said he'll be there for the match.
Car trouble.
Was this Apollo Crews kind of
seeing the future?
I know you don't know the reference, but people will. Desmond in Lost, where he'll just be like, hey, Charlie, you might want to put a lightning rod on your tent there.
Okay.
Because he keeps on seeing flashes of this guy dying.
This is exactly Apollo Crews is That's So Raven here. He can see the future, and he's telling them like, in your future, someone's.
But nothing really happened tonight.
He didn't say tonight.
Tonight.
I see the future.
Yeah.
It's the future. Something's gonna keep
Roddy.
your eyes open. It's Roddy. But he's having car trouble. Or he's stuck in traffic, so it's fine. But yeah, this guy can see the future.
A Toxic Attraction are freaking out backstage, having lost their title opportunity.
So angry.
And Mandy is mad at them, says, what was that? I knew they were going to cheat to win. This is when Mackenzie comes in and they just go, oh my God, you come in at the worst time, and just shoo her away.
And Mandy says, I'll make Toxic look good tonight.
Yeah.
As she goes for her match now.
So Mandy Rose versus Suray. They're doing a callback right from a year ago that when Suray kind of busted up Mandy's face with that drop kick. Suray's been in NXT UK for the last few weeks, and she's been training with Meiko Satomura. That's something I've noticed over the last few weeks, like really building that connection between NXT and NXT UK, which I think is good. Like UK seems to be the NXT to NXT now. And Suray sets up right away for that crazy crazy drop kick to the face, but Mandy goes to the outside. Suray springboards off the bottom rope with an arm drag. There's then a second rope missile drop kick, followed by the perfect plex from Suray for a 2 count with a nice bridge here. Mandy fights back with a spine buster and then just hits the Rose trigger kind of out of nowhere for the win. And then says, Zoe Stark, I hope you're watching closely because this is what awaits you. Grabs a chair, starts to attack the knee of Suray, and then locks it round the leg. Is going to stamp on it when Zoe runs out for the save and hits a super kick.
Scaring her off. Yeah, the match had some okay stuff. Suray always, like you said, hitting some good-looking wrestling. But I broken record is Mandy's matches just don't hit at all. There's something just not clicking for me. It's almost like dead in the water when it comes to her offense because it's like the stomps. It's like there really isn't anything impressive.
There was no flow to this match, I didn't think.
Yeah, and it's every time we talk about her matches, it's the same thing. So I just don't know what is going on with Mandy, because when she first got here we were like, okay, she's doing follow-away slams and kip-ups and
she's always been best when it's been a multi-woman match. I think that's where she's
everyone
impressed,
else,
because she does hit some things quite nicely, but it's that like connective tissue to marry it all together. And as you say, it's just then stomping, posing, might hit a night. Like I think her Rose trigger looks pretty nice most of the time, and Suray is just kind of dull to me. I think she hit some like nice looking moves, but they've struggled with this character. I feel she's been very start-stop. Like she came into the company, had a I think tail end of Black and Gold, if I'm right. Had a bit of a good showing, like with the match against Mandy originally and that kind of thing. And then they went cold on her. She disappeared. They do the gimmick change. She disappears. And she's never really had that momentum going. And I don't know how the best way to salvage it is. Because I can't say that she's connected with me yet, like a lot of the other kind of Japanese talent have in NXT over the years.
And it's their fault for like the Mickey Mouse stop-start kind of stuff. But yeah, this didn't hit for me, and I know that the one before was good a year ago.
But I would say the same was Io Shirai wasn't hitting with me until the character changed, and then it all came together. So I think she's clearly a good wrestler. There's just something to unlock, and I don't think this kind of Sailor Moon thing is quite hitting.
Like it could, but yeah, it's something that, and jobbing to Mandy doesn't help, I guess.
Yeah.
But Mandy Zoe is the main story, leading with Zoe versus Mandy at Heatwave.
Yes.
So looking forward to that.
We get a great video package for Tiffany Stratton where they're showing off her gymnastics background, and it's her kind of in a gym doing all the flips and the stuff on the horse and the beam and all that.
I mean, finally, they always show like clips of her from the past, but now it's like they set up this filming thing in a gym where she's doing all crazy sort of flips and everything. Very, very talented.
She says, when you're a gifted and superior athlete, you have no time for the likes of Wendy Chu. I guess that's why everyone in NXT is obsessed with me. Tiffany Stratton and the word loser do not belong in the same sentence, because she's still mad about the Battle Royal where she lost. And she says, maybe if I lived a miserable existence, I would be okay with losing too, but I don't. Damn. She sounds great. I love all these lines. I thought it was interesting that they're showing more of her kind of athletic background here rather than her just in a hair salon or in a mall or something doing this. Maybe it's to kind of show her as being a bit more legit.
She is, for sure. She sounds good whenever she talks in these promos, whether it's live, anything. Whenever she talks, she gets over. She has a presence, and I think in the wrestling, she's been connecting. And I mean, with this background and stuff, again, we've been singing the praises of Tiffany Stratton. I could see big things in WWE for her. She's kind of got the whole package, and at this young age to kind of start getting it this early, like. Yeah, I know she's probably still green at wrestling and stuff, but anything we've seen so far, we're like, okay, actually, all right, it could go pretty far. I like these videos, and she has
shot really nicely.
She's
as well,
like the meanest.
Yeah.
On these shows, I need to see her. I'm sorry, Wendy Chu. We need to put this fucking thing to bed.
Yeah.
Like this needs to end. Stop it. As much as I love both of them.
They teased the kind of character change of Chu last week, didn't they? Yeah.
They need to do some gimmick match now.
I assume so, yeah. We see Axiom, who's being interviewed. He says he's very excited to be here in NXT.
Oh, is that what he said? I couldn't hear him when he talked. The mask is right up against his face like that. This guy looks like a dork, man.
Duke Hudson comes in and says, you don't belong here. There have been a lot of changes here in NXT, and it's now anyone's ball game. Not for you, though. You're undersized and undeserving, whereas I'm 6'5" and 265 pounds.
6'5".
Axiom says that he's not afraid of him, and he went, well, good for you. You're a nerd. And just slaps him across the face.
Good.
And then they start to brawl. They're fighting through the corridor, which is all lit purple, kind of like the BDE.
Yeah.
And then they get to the ring, where Hudson hits this huge spinning side effect, kind of like Grimes does, but...
Yeah, like a spinning sidewalk slam.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. And then poses. Duke grabs the mic and says, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you shouldn't believe in your heroes. They always let you down. Well, Axiom takes the mic and says, things have changed. I can make it and prove you wrong. And I can prove it right here, right now. So, setting up for an impromptu match here between the superhero and the poker player.
Yeah, he's not a poker player anymore.
No,
he's just 6'5".
retired.
Yeah, he's just 6'5". That's his gimmick. Right off the bat, you wiped off the face paint or the makeup on the pig that is this like weird gimmick, because you just had him backstage being interviewed like in this outfit, just like no algebra, no comic book, no flashing. It's just, hi, I'm in this mask, and you can't really understand, but if you do understand, you might realize I'm actually that A kid from a little while ago. And here he is just like, hi, I'm an athlete. And then Duke is like, yo, you're a nerd. It instantly just like, yeah, I want to see Duke just murder this guy. This whole thing makes me laugh. I don't know if they could turn this around, but I cannot stand Axiom.
I don't hate it. Like, I can't say I'm like, it blows me away, but to me, it's just another luchador on the roster. I definitely don't hate it as much as you.
It makes me laugh.
But I don't think the wrestling's hit for me yet.
I mean, it hits
since
with this match, yeah.
So it's a lot of just Duke beating up Axiom, boots him to the floor. Axiom starts to come back with some kicks to the leg, charges into the corner, but gets caught with an Uranagi, kind of Samoa Joe-esque here, kind of catching out midair. But then Duke shows that he's tweaked his knee, so he's starting to sell that. I noticed some of the crowd were behind Duke here. There were Duke's a hero chants.
Duke was over. Yeah, Duke was getting chants. I guess because I don't think the crowd were too behind this mathlete luchador.
Duke goes for the razor's edge and gets Axiom pretty high here, who turns it into a Rana and then hits a satellite into a roll-up for the pin, and just catching Duke, kind of sort of what we'd expect, banana peel kind of ending here for Duke Hudson, which is kind of the role he's in, is this big bully who the little guys always sneak a win over, and Axiom just runs away after picking up the win before he can get beaten up again.
Yeah, I still think this guy needs to impress in the ring if we're going to go forward with this whole new lucha masked character and stuff. And yeah, he got the upset win here, but I mean, it gets him over. But then he also, I still think he looked like a dork. And I still think, with even watching this, if you weren't too familiar, part-time fan or watcher or whatever, you hear the crowd chanting for Duke, you're going to be like, yeah, actually, I'm on this guy's side. Look at this guy who's in this Halloween costume. Like, sorry, Duke they should rematch this. But I will say, if you do want to get Axiom over, just let him wrestle. I think that'll speak way more volumes than any of these things they've been trying so far. But
yeah, I feel he could almost benefit from like a cruiserweight division again. Not necessarily like a title or stuff, but a few other guys similar size that he can do fun matches with. Because I don't think, kind of like Nathan Fraser, he hasn't shown me anything yet that is different. Whereas I think if you gave like Ricochet this gimmick, I mean, he kind of did in Lucha Underground with the Prince Puma thing. I think he could make it work a bit better because he's a bit flashier.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just comes across like you go to your local indie show and some guy comes out in a lucha character and you're like, yeah, it's just some small white guy in a lucha mask. That's what this guy comes across as. And I think tonight it showed that even more so without like the comic book stuff. It's like instantly you're just some guy in a mask who didn't even get over here.
Duke is always great in this role.
Yeah.
Like I think that's probably going to be his role for life. Kind of here is just the bully that like loses, but I do think he's good in that role.
Yeah.
We see Wesley backstage wearing a Muhammad Ali t-shirt.
Hell yeah.
And says that Trick thinks he's Muhammad Ali, and well, that's disrespectful because he did his entrance with all the bright lights and stuff, and then he posed like him from that iconic photo. He says it's an insult, and next week we're going to have the best of both worlds. Trick can bring his boxing skills, I will bring my wrestling, and let's be like the UK and do a rounds match. So it's announced later in the show it's going to be 6 rounds of 3 minutes.
Next week?
Next week between these two.
6 rounds?
6 3-minute rounds.
Okay, interesting.
So going to do a kind of boxing style, old UK style match here,
All
which
right.
I'm not big into round stuff,
No.
but I do appreciate trying to do something different, and we've seen the singles match, so I don't know, I'll be interested to see how they work with this.
I like them bringing up the Muhammad Ali pose, and then like Wes being pissed off by this. Like, no, what the you can't just think you're like Muhammad Ali and he's wearing the shirt and stuff. But
I do think Trick and Mello with the rounds thing could be quite funny. I can imagine him like, in between rounds in the corner, Mello doing like the towel and the water bottle and massaging him and that kind of thing. So it could be fun.
Mello, he's gonna do all the Rocky and good stuff. I just watched. My work was airing Ali, Will Smith as Ali, and I never watched that before, so I thought it was pretty good. It's all right. Will Smith actually is allowed to hit people in that movie.
Yeah, I can't remember I don't think I have seen it.
He was nominated for it, but he didn't win.
I think it's one of like caught bits on TV, but never.
It was all right.
We go to the NXT Tag Team Championship match. It's the Creed brothers taking on the D'Angelo family. It starts off with just Brutus beating up Stacks. Tony D hits this. Yeah, it was pretty impressive looking. It was to Julius Creed. It was like the X-Plex, the release vertical suplex, but twists him with it. I thought it looked really good. And Julius kind of sold that this kind of messed him up a bit. I don't know if it genuinely did rock him or what, but he was kind of a bit out of it from this spot and manages to tag back in Brutus, who hits this huge pounce to Stacks.
Period.
Just sending him flying.
Sending him to the Serengeti.
The crowd then chanting Brutus smash as Stacks starts to come back and attacks Brutus's hand on the steps. There's then a nice double underhook suplex from Tony D. Julius comes in with the hot tag. He's fully fresh now. Hits a nice tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Brings out all his crazy, beautiful-looking suplexes. And then there's a running forearm to the face. Another belly-to-belly. Say this every week, but this guy is great. The straps come down, but he runs into an elbow strike from Stacks. Brutus makes the tag and starts just doing his double fist, clubbing down like the Hulk onto Stacks. And then we see Elektra Lopez on the outside puts the crowbar in the ring for Tony D to use. D'Angelo goes to the crowbar, but then a hand stops it. We pan out and we see not Pablo Escobar, Santos Escobar,
that would be pretty wild, though.
In a sweet-looking shirt.
Life of Pablo.
Pulls the crowbar away and just clocks D'Angelo in the face. And as there's a rolling DVD and the huge lariat from Julius for the win, as Legado on the other side are holding Stacks back, preventing him to make the save. So, and still, Creed brothers defeat the D'Angelo family. Legado have turned on the family, and no Roddy in sight.
Yeah,
Roddy didn't make it inside.
A lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
So Julius and Brutus looking like absolute units as always. The Creed brothers, again, strap in. They're going to be big stars in WWE. Everything hits for these guys right now. Even their promo before and the promo later, everything works for them. And the wrestling still connecting. The wrestling is like the suplexes and throws. It's all good. Santos returning. Great. That shirt.
So nice.
Really good. And I think we could finally blow this off and end this whole thing. It's like kind of move away from this. And honestly, Legado, move them up.
Yeah.
Triple H, pull them up.
Now's the time for sure.
They've been running shit here for a long time, and I think they are instantly a tag team, a triple unit. Unfortunately, you already did this such creative way to introduce Santos. Remember that the cruiserweight, right?
El Hijo del
Fantasmo, yeah. Like that whole thing, if you were to do that on like Raw or SmackDown, bring that in the mix with Rey Mysterio. Santos has worn Rey Mysterio inspired gear a few times. So like there's a lot you can do with them. And I think with Keen Wilde and Cruz, as we're calling him now, they've been
they're so good.
So get this feud over with. I think do it maybe at the Heat Wave or the Premium Live event or whatever they're doing in a few months, and then move these guys up because there's some good teams that they can mess around with.
Yeah, and I think under Triple H, I'd be interested to see if we kind of bring factions back, which I think is something that could... I think factions benefit a company because it makes everything a little bit more important. Even if you're like the fifth guy in a faction, if you're associated with like we see with like JAS, Inner Circle, those, you can be, you know, Matt Menard down on the pecking order, but suddenly you feel a bit more important because you're associated with these people and you can do these inner feuds and different combinations. So I think that would be something to benefit the main roster, and bring Legado up. I thought the match was pretty good. I thought this was maybe the most impressive Tony Dees looked. I thought he hit some really nice stuff here.
Yeah.
Creed's always impress. Stack's holding his own as well. I want to know, like, the terms of this match where you'd end up working for the other family.
Yeah.
Like, was the contract like nullified when Tony put Escobar in the hospital? Because otherwise they'd have just gone right from day one, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not joining your family. You lost.
Actually, I'm leaving your family.
But no, I'm not. I'm not though.
That's why it's
so
a little...
we need to see the T's and C's here.
It's a little... Yeah, we need to see the contracts of what was going on. And we still need to find out why they call them stacks.
Yeah.
But if you want to know, check out our Goodfellas review on our Patreon.
We get a Roxanne Perez video, and it's just highlighting her like friendship and feud with Cora Jade. She's
got a bit of an edge here now.
Yeah.
She's upset, obviously.
She's mad.
Yeah.
She's pissed. She says, "We were just two broke girls chasing a dream, and I was Cora's biggest fan, because when my friends succeed, I succeed. When my friends win, I win. And we won. And Toxic has been a thorn in Cora's side for a long time, so I used my contract to take them out. And then you turned on me, and that hurt me. That friendship meant more to me than the Women's Championship. And I know her more than anyone on this planet, and she calls me a selfish bitch. That sadness then turned into anger when I saw her throw the title in the trash. I don't know who this Cora is. The Cora I know is long gone. So okay, bitch, you want me out of your life? Let's settle this once and for all at Heatwave."
Damn. Yeah. So Roxanne versus Cora at Heatwave? Jeez, it's all coming to... I think we get something that doesn't happen and the match is prolonged.
We'll get a few of these, I think. This will go through till the September PLE, I'd imagine.
But yeah, I mean, NXT and just wrestling in general lately is just everyone saying shit and bitch.
Yeah.
Because they are allowed to. So it just... Every sentence you just add bitch.
I see them totally going the formula like the Gargano Ciampa formula, the Kyle Adam Cole formula, where we'll get maybe an unsanctioned match. Eventually the title will be in the picture. But yeah, Roxanne's showing a bit more of an edge here. She still sounds super young, so it's kind of like when she does say something like bitch.
What's your language, young lady? What are you talking about? I like how she mentioned that Roxanne says that her and Cora were just two broke girls. Yeah. Clearly shouting out the newest wrestling fan in the universe, Kat Dennings.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Two broke girls. I think she said that on purpose because Kat Dennings said, "Hey, I like wrestling.
I love WWE." And what? Something like that, wasn't
it? And then everyone shot their shot with Kat Dennings. Shout out Two Broke Girls. I used to love that show.
Yeah.
Stifler's mom.
All right.
It's good.
We then go to Cora, who's being interviewed, and she says, "If only Roxanne was as good in the ring as she is an actress. I'm the talk of the town. You're talking about me. You're talking about Bailey. You're talking about Roman. She's up there, Cora Jade.
With Roman.
And I'm done with that charity case. She wants a match? Well, no, bitch." And this is where...
Sorry, what did she say?
No, bitch. And this is when Mandy Rose walks in and says, "I saw what you did to Zoe Stark last week, and I want to suggest something. How about you take her out for me?" And Cora says, "Hey, what do I get in this? This seems a bit one-sided.
She means...
And just because I don't like Roxy now doesn't mean we're cool. I still hate you."
She said take out Zoe, but we've known Zoe goes out on sushi dates. So maybe that's what she meant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Mandy says, well, how about if you take out Zoe Stark, that means you'll take a slot because you'd have been the runner-up in that match, and then you get the title shot. And Cora says, I'll give it some thought, little girl.
I like how she's traded in the skateboard for just a pipe.
It's like some sort of...
What the fuck?
It looked like almost like a metal-painted kendo stick. It was like black and purple and...
Yeah, it was weird. It looked like a pipe or a baseball bat with
looks
like
more
spray.
effective. So
she just loves prop work.
Yeah.
She first has a little coffin with a bow on it. Remember, she wore. Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
And she was
when
goth.
she was with Gigi.
Yeah, she just walked around with a little coffin, and then eventually she walked around with a skateboard that she never actually learned how to skate, and then now she's got a pole.
Yes.
A bat.
Yeah.
Still no General Aziz.
General Aziz, yes,
But-
that's true. Yeah, I mean, you'd probably wait for the match
Next
to
week.
debut him, wouldn't you? And have him help Cora get this win.
There you go.
And then you put him in a shark cage. We then get a Von Wagner video package,
Yes.
just kind of building up the main event, just basically showing him beating up people, throwing Jiro into the crowd, all of that.
I was so excited when he showed up on that SummerSlam thing because I'm telling you, Logan Paul will be WWE champion, but Big Von Wagner should be his muscle
All right.
down the line. He's a big superstar, incredible wrestler.
He's great. Yeah, he's fantastic. He's fantastic, that Von. We see Kaden and Katana, who, as we mentioned earlier, full babyface mode here. They say we've been through hell and back. We've been cheated, and we still did it. Kaden says that this girl is my rock, and all those sacrifices made this much sweeter. We never gave up. And then Katana kind of looks in the camera at us, says, you never gave up. You never gave up on them, Braden.
Never.
And this is where these titles are going to stay.
Take a chance on.
Nice little celebration promo here.
Happy for them.
We go to our next match. It's Brooks Jensen versus Joe Gacy. Jensen in his jorts and cowboy boots. Oh boy.
Jensen's in Dixie Dukes.
Yeah, they're like short shorts.
Dixie Dukes and cowboy boots versus the Olive Garden waiter
Yeah.
of Joe Gacy.
Wade going on about who wrestles in jorts and throwing shade at Cena, and Vince you got beaten up by a guy in jorts for a long time.
Jensen, it's a look.
Yeah.
It's a look.
I prefer it to the long jeans look because it stands out. It's
Fair.
ridiculous, but it
Yeah.
does make him stand out. He's got the flow going now and his tash and sideburns.
Love it.
Yeah, why not? Jensen hits a drive-by and then poses on the apron. There's a nice looking DDT from Gacy. Gacy hits a vicious kind of sliding D, the sliding forearm in the corner, and then does his upside down shit. Hits Uranagi. Briggs, who's on the outside, confronts the Dyad, trying to get rid of them. But as this is going on, Pretty Deadly run in for interference, allowing Gacy to hit the handspring clothesline and pins Brooks Jensen.
Yeah, a lot went on near the end of this match. Jensen hit a pretty cool looking spin wheel kick. Shout out Viscera.
Yeah.
Looked
His
pretty-
did used to do that as well, didn't he? He did big leg
kicks
lariats and stuff. Yeah.
And then I guess this forwards the feud of Pretty Deadly with Brooks and Jensen, obviously with the titles, but it could be a way to get the titles onto the Grizzled Young Vets or whatever they're called, the Schism Jism tree. Yeah, I hate whatever's going on with Joe Gacy. I just cannot get behind this. It just looks too silly. I love wrestling because it mixes a fake out there world with real actual people who are acting and portraying these characters. But when I watch these characters, I don't like it. I want to change the channel, and I feel like I can't believe in it. It looks too stupid.
I hope this is one. I like explanations in wrestling, why you're ending something, but this is one I'd perfectly be happy with an abort, and they all come back.
Yeah.
Gibson and Drake can be off for another month, come back with their beards, and
be like, what were we thinking?
what happened there?
What was going on?
That was a weird dream I just had.
We were drinking the Kool-Aid for a little bit there. We were too woke.
I can see this one sort of fading out.
We've been saying that about Joe Gacy
it's different now. Triple H in charge and stuff. It's not working. I don't know anyone who kind of is into this thing.
It's too bad because I think those two with the character they were doing a little while ago, we've said, could be on the main roster.
100%.
But yeah.
As Gacy's celebrating, he kind of looks into the camera and says, Cameron Grimes, your life has been divided by disappointment and loss. The only way to change your life is from the help of others. I know you're a proud man, and I'm reaching out to you. I feel the emptiness in your soul. You know I'm right. And you hear someone yell from the crowd, like, Gacy likes pineapple on pizza. At this point as well.
He has since tweeted saying he absolutely does not like pineapple on his pizza. And that's where I went, yeah, that's why I don't like you, Joe Gacy.
Yeah.
Because anyone who doesn't like pineapple on pizza lives a sad, locked, caged life.
I think to really make it work, you need the jalapenos.
The dirty Hawaiian.
You need the heat, the salt, the sweet,
yeah,
and the cheese. It just perfect.
I see. Put your phone. Don't tweet us. Don't stop it. You're wrong. Don't even try to change our mind or opinion. You're wrong if you don't like it. And if you don't like it, maybe because you haven't tried it properly, but it works. Okay, it just does. Well, fruit doesn't belong on pizza. No. Why are tomatoes on it? Yeah, exactly.
Go
Get
fuck
the
yourself.
net. Yeah, what are you fucking doing? Bitch.
Yeah. We go backstage and see some trainees with Cameron Grimes, and one of them's like, dude, who's talking about you? And Grimes just walks off.
This is weird.
Hey, you're Cameron Grimes, aren't you?
Sorry.
He's talking about you.
You mean to tell me this is how backstage people watch NXT? They all just stand around like this? Like, you don't have a lounge or something to watch the show, but instead they all just stand there and go, hey, you're Cameron Grimes.
You're Cameron Grimes. We see Tony D on the phone, and he's going, that's not what we talked about. Thanks for nothing, as he hangs up.
Cutting back and forth between Santos and Tony D.
Yeah.
But it's like a movie. It's like Scarface, where they have the audio, like, cutting back in between the phone call. Oh, man, so funny.
So, Tony's saying if it wasn't for Santos, he'd be North American champion and tag team champion. And this is where Santos calls him and says, tough loss for you. How does your jaw feel? Well, after you put me in hospital, we're almost even. I can't work for you. You can't work for me. And we can't work together. And Tony says, okay, well, one more time. Just you and me. No Legado, no Elektra, no Stacks. Just you and me, one-on-one. And I know the perfect place. A place you'll see me coming from a mile away. Yeah, the CWC. You're there every Tuesday, right?
I guess. I don't know what... Heatwave?
Heatwave, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, these two are quite funny. It's ridiculous, but I do think as performers they're doing it pretty well.
It's every like mafia or crime movie where it's like they're talking on the phone like that and cutting back and forth and like they're angry, so overheated. Yeah, look, Santos is so funny doing these things.
We go to a grudge match. Alba Fire taking on Lash Legend. Legend hits a big pump kick to Fire. Alba goes up top, but Legend comes after her and goes for a delayed vertical suplex, but Fire kind of knees her in the jaw, knocking her off. And then Legend goes to use the baseball bat, but gets super kicked twice and then hit with the gory bomb, followed by the swanton for the win for Alba Fire.
Yeah, a pretty quick match. There was some cool stuff from Lash. I'll give her the credit with the Argentinian backbreaker and then the butterfly suplex into a kip up. And then, of course, Alba Fire doing the gory bomb is one of my favorite moves, too. But it didn't get, like, as messy as I think some of the past Lash Legend matches we've seen. So I will say that she's somewhat improving. She was getting to the point, I guess, a little bit quicker.
I will say it didn't feel like a match that these two have been feuding for a while. It didn't really feel like that heated of a match, considering that these two hate each other. It was just a quick match. We keep on saying about Alba Fire and move her up, but I also think she is important here to be working with these greener talents for them to improve. And it's kind of an unfortunate position to be in, but right now with the new people going into like Raw, and we'll see if any changes are made to SmackDown, I don't see really a place for her right now on the main roster.
Sure.
So maybe it's kind of dull because it's just, unless she's going to be in like a serious kind of title feud, it's just going to be her against your Lashes, your Tiffany Strattons and things. I see that's what it will be for her. But you need that. You need those kind of veterans in there to help. We see Trick and Mello, who are leaving when these sexy girls are trying to fix a car.
Help! Our car
broke down.
So
So they're like, oh, we can help you, and that was the scene.
good guys, Mello and Trick.
Yeah, it's their babyface turn.
Yeah, these attractive young ladies need help with their car in the parking lot. Mello and Trick work here. They know the parking lot is not a safe space.
It's not safe.
So they're here to help these young ladies when they're in need and in peril. Good guys.
We see Nikita Lyons, who is addressing Kiana James here, and she says, I saw your presentation on me last week, and I'm an open book, and I'm damn proud of where I came from, and I've dealt with women like you my entire life. This is who I am, and I'm not changing for anybody, especially you. And if you want to change my mind, you can come and face me in the ring next week. So next week we've got Nikita Lyons and Kiana James. We've got Cora Jade versus Zoe Starks. And we've got the 6 3-minute rounds match between Trick and Wes.
Yeah.
But what did you think of her promo here?
It was all right. It feels very cookie cutter.
It does.
It feels like we've already actually seen this exact feud a little while ago with someone else, where she's like, "I'm just because I'm different, and you say my mother was a groupie." It's like, all right, you literally already did this. So, cool, but not really.
Her delivery's fine, but not spectacular as well.
She's still improving.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we go to our main event, the Falls Count Anywhere match, to crown the Street Champion.
Who will be the Street Champion?
So it's reigning Street Champion Von Wagner taking on Solo Sikoa. There's a lot of just brawling around the ring, and then the stairs and the chairs are brought into the ring. There's a backdrop suplex to Sikoa onto the chairs, and then Von is just smashing Sikoa over the back with this chair. And then Wagner sets up 2 chairs like in the seated position, and scoop slams Solo right through them.
Yeah,
which
one of them
always looks painful.
The one dented in like backwards. It looked nasty.
There's then a Samoan drop on the outside from Sikoa to Wagner on the announce table. I am the table. Mm-hmm. This didn't break. And then
to the table, because I'm the table.
Outside, they're now brawling like through the arena. They go outside to the parking lot, where I think it's Solo gets thrown into Mello, which sends him flying into the back of this convertible with the girls, and he's like on the girls' laps, and he's like, oh my word, no. Wagner then puts Solo in a dumpster, and Vic's going, this isn't a dumpster match.
That's tomorrow night.
And then Wagner starts to walk away as Solo just pops up out of this dumpster, comes out with a bag of trash and starts whipping Wagner with it. There's then repeated knees to Wagner against this steel fence, which looked pretty snug, looked pretty good. And then they're brawling around backstage. They bump into Cameron Grimes.
They just shove him out of the way.
Just showing Grimes still not having a good day. And then Wagner puts Solo through a table, but it's a 2 count only. Solo comes back with a fire extinguisher to the face of Wagner. Now they're back in the ring. There's a super kick and Samoan drop from Sikoa. And now Solo's got the steel chair and is smashing Wagner over the back with it. And then hits the rock bottom. I'm not going to call it an Uranagi. This was a full-on rock bottom on the steel steps. 1, 2. But the incredible wrestler he is, Von Wagner, kicks out. Solo climbs to the top, but Stone tries to interfere and gets shoved off, allowing Wagner to crotch him on the ropes. They're then fighting around the outside, and Solo hits 2 super kicks, which allows Wagner to fall perfectly on the announce table. And then Solo comes off with the big splash off the top rope through the announce table and picks up the win.
And new Streets Champion.
A new Street Champion.
He's got it back.
Yeah.
The OG Streets Champion. Yeah, I'm happy that this guy won the match going forward. I do see him being called up. I think it would make sense with some things going on up there. He's proved himself.
Yeah, I feel you either put him in the North American title picture, which maybe was teased with him knocking into Mello.
Yeah.
But I saw the way they were promoting this on Raw and SummerSlam as maybe prepare yourselves because this guy is coming.
Von Wagner.
Because Solo was way more promoted in that video package than Wagner was.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be sooner rather than later.
I liked it, and I liked the finish as well. They teased he's going to hit the splash on the steps, and then instead you got it off the top through the commentary tables. But it looked good, and I do think, he teased the I got next thing with the title and never really got that chance fully, properly. So,
he had the match with Grimes, right?
Yeah,
I think.
But then, Melo's like, nah, man. So we'll get to that match, whether it be multi-man or something. But it was cool that there's still I think we are getting a multi-man North American title match.
Yeah, just not a ladder.
It probably
We've
will.
already done that with Melo as champion.
Yeah.
I hope just
Probably.
what would it be, a 4-way, I guess?
Maybe. Yeah.
Melo, Vinci, Fraser, and Solo.
Maybe. Yeah. But overall, there was a lot of things, as you could tell. We went through so many different segments, which I think they still need to chill. I don't know if this show needs to be 2 hours because there's so much in it that you're like, okay, could you have condensed this down? And this was a commercial free show for the first good half.
Hour,
yeah, at least the first hour at least felt like it was limited commercials or no commercials at all, which was good. But then you realize there's a lot of segments.
For us to know, it makes the show a lot longer.
Yeah, it feels like it's such a longer show just because there's so much going on. When there was still some good wrestling. Again, shout out the team of Katana and Kaden getting the win and the gold, but Yulisa and Faraz just stole that match from me. And then some other good wrestling was Tony D wrestling with the Creeds there. I thought that was pretty good. Even this main event had some good stuff. But top to bottom, it still delivered in the wrestling, but I still feel like there was throwing so much at us. Chill.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show. I didn't think there was actually anything really. I don't like Gacy, but I don't think there was anything bad on this show, to be honest. But I can't say it was. It's something about the pacing, and I mentioned that at the beginning with Raw. The pace of an AEW show, which is a lot, but I just feel energized throughout the whole thing. Whereas this, you're looking at the clock and you go, oh, we've still got 2 matches left, and you've got this backstage thing, and it felt quite long this week, but I didn't think it was bad.
I don't think we have the Triple H black and gold takeover that everyone thinks we're getting back to already.
The thing is, it's developmental, so they're working with that PC class they had.
Of course.
But it was interesting. I think I read a report somewhere that they're changing the last. They just had a talent scout thing last week, didn't they? And apparently there were quite a few concussions from these big green guys. So they're obviously they're gonna change they're gonna pivot. So it's you're not going to see those changes right away, but the next class we see, be interesting to see if you get a lot more of your indie names out there coming in.
Yeah, who would you get?
Gringo
Loco, obviously. Black Taurus, if he's not already signed.
I think he's on Impact a lot. I think he's signed with them, but
when you wrestle on
get
Impact,
out of those contracts.
Speedball.
Yeah.
Again,
he'd be a great
he's Impact right now, but someone he's been hot on the indies. NXT 2.0 needs a shot of Effie.
Not big on Effie, but someone again, it's once I'm thinking all Impact guys here, but Josh Alexander as well.
True, yeah.
Have him in the Diamond Mine with the Creeds and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the next time they do one of these kind of PC recruitments who we get, and we'll see the change. Whereas main roster, you can kind of start those changes now because you're looking at your developmental and you're going, all right, I want them. Sorry, we released Dakota Kai. Dakota, come back. You can kind of do that with NXT. It's, I guess, takes a little bit more time. But yeah, mainly positive on this show, I'd say, this week.
And they're going towards this heat wave thing in 2 weeks, their kind of big TV special. And then after that, in early September, the same day as All Out, they'll be doing a show. Still haven't announced that yet, but they will be doing that hopefully during the day and not against All Out.
I hope so.
So that easier for us, so we can do a show on that as well. But it wasn't too bad of an episode of NXT, and I am looking forward to seeing some of the matches that they have promoted going forward. We do have a bit of feedback here on our Facebook group. If you haven't joined already, upNXT on the podcast on the page, there's upNXT group in Facebook. Join that. Corey writes in, so how about Io's debut at SummerSlam and then her match on Raw? Are you guys going to the Toronto Raw on August 22nd now that she'll likely be there?
I'm going to go. I haven't got tickets yet, but I plan on going.
Look, Io Shirai, probably my favorite wrestler in the company, and you're telling me if she's on Raw, they swap out that Io. Sorry, they were promoting Cody versus Seth originally, but now it should be Io versus Seth. And
Io versus Seth, yeah.
You laugh, but that would be a probably better match than most of the guys.
Oh, yeah.
With Seth. So just saying, that would be great. But I'll dream on. Corey continues. Anyways, decent episode of NXT. The weakest match was Mandy Suray. I was hoping the regime change would be more kind to Suray, but she got squashed into a 5-minute match. Mandy is really not good in the ring at this point, and it's hard to see her doing well in this new era if she's ever called up. Mainly feel bad for Suray, who's just a jobber at this point. She hasn't won a match on 2.0 in almost 6 months.
Jeez. We go to Cameron, who says, enjoyed the show. About time tag titles were on an actual team. Could have probably got rid of a few silly segments for some longer matches, but I didn't dislike this episode. Will be interesting to see if Triple H calls up more NXT stars in the next couple of weeks. Please come and save Cameron Grimes, Hunter. Looking forward to your review. Up Next Summer Mania was fire.
Hey,
Take
thank
care.
you very
Thanks,
much.
Cameron.
I think Cameron was a new patron.
Oh?
I think he wrote in to us earlier this week saying he watched Summer Mania and then signed up to our Patreon. I think he was. So shout out Cameron. And shout out you, Corey, for writing in. And shout out all of you for listening to us here talk about some NXT. We will be talking about Dynamite again on Rewind to Dynamite with John Pollock. Go check that out on their feed late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Can't wait to talk all about that. But if you do want to hear more, patreon.com/upnext. All these podcasts. We got a Was Next this week and Man of Steel coming out this week. But check the Twitter at UpNext Podcast because we have the schedule up there with all the shows coming out. Dunstan checks in. Best match ever, Rey Mysterio. A few good men. It's a wild month.
Oh, it's all over the place. And that's how I like it.
Yeah, the heat wave coming as well. But we appreciate you guys checking us out. Go check us out. It's only $5. That equals to pennies per podcast at your fingertips. Check the RSS feed, links to your podcast app, and you can download and check out all the past shows we've done. So many podcasts out there in our back catalog. And, go check them out.
Go check it out, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we appreciate you hanging out with us here on Up Next, and we love you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me Twitter and Instagram. I am at the Bray D.
And I am at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. Bitch.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.